Okay, folks, we're ready to almost to do the eyes, but we need to have this slanted back a little bit yet. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'm just going to shave some of this off so it doesn't look as blocky as it did. You can see the grain. See the grain in that? Pretty neat. That's a little better. Okay, it's a little bit more slanted. Ah, that's better. I'm happier with that. Okay, and also I think I'm going to put the eyes just a slight more towards the center here. Hang on just a second. Let me just carve that off. It'd be a little easier to do that than with a... Let's start over with that. I'm just going to make a little bit of a hollow right there. Let's do the same thing here. Just hollow this out a little bit. From the where this is hollowed out a little bit, just hollow it out a little bit. That's optional. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. This adds a little bit more to the piece. See how it goes in a little bit? Sometimes the slightest bit more you do to it can enhance the carving, and you know that comes with practice. So what I'm going to do is right about here, because their eyes are kind of close to the front there. So let's do it this way. Let's see. Yeah. Let's move that over a little bit. You're going to see me go back and forth a few times here. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Let me take a good look at it here. Alright, and then what we'll do is, it's a little bit slanted there, so this is the way I do my eyes, and it seemed to be working out. It gives it a cute factor to it. Alright, their eyes aren't real big. Usually they're really small for the size that they are. I know these things can be really big, or get really big. Alright, so let's see here. I'm going to do some measuring here, so I just have an idea what's what here. Okay, right there. Alright, and the bottom one is there. It's a little bit off. If you learn to measure the way I am, it eliminates having a ruler all the time in your hand. It makes things go a little faster. So I'm going to put my stop cut right there on the line. Okay, I'm going to go in kind of deep. Same over here. Alright, and the first thing we're going to do is what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where this is on the top. Just thought of maybe doing that. That might work a little better. Okay? And we know exactly where that marking was. Yeah. You'll see why I'm doing this in a second. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sweep this out. Okay? Sweep it out first. Okay? Same thing over here. Eyes are really a critical portion on a carving. You can make it or break it with the eyes a lot of times. Now, if you wanted a sleeping one, you could leave it like this. You really could. You know, just put a little indentation like his eyelids are together. I've never really done that, but you could do that. Nothing says that you have to do it this way. Alright, so let's go back. And we know it started here, right? And here's the bottom portion. So let's bring this up. Bring this down around. That way you kind of had it the way it was when you first had it on there. Alright. Okay, that looks good. So what we're going to do is take the point of the knife, and I'm going to sharpen it up a little bit on a strop. Now, if you're not familiar with what a strop is, and if you're just joining us for the very first time, what it is a piece of leather on a board. You can make it from an old belt if you want, or you can go to a saddle shop or order it of just a piece of leather from eBay or whatever. And I take about 1.5 to 2 inch plank, and I do both sides, and then I put a compound. I glue it to a piece of wood. And these pieces of wood, if you want something exactly that size, you can go to Lowe's. They sell the poplar, I think, in 2 inch flat pieces, and you can buy a long one and make 2 or 3 of these if you like. Very simple. I have a video on how to do this. And a lot of times when you use a strop, you put a compound on it. So let's use the compound side here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same number of on each side, and holding that blade nice and flat. You don't want to do this when you use it. What happens when you do this, you end up rounding off the bevel, and it won't dig into your carving. Okay. Now, another little secret that you need to know, since this compound is dirty, okay, you do it a couple of times this way, you know, and then you flip it over, and this should be less compound or a finer compound, or no compound at all. You can do it either or. What you want to do is you just want to make sure that you get it good and flat. Now when you're done with it, your hands are going to be kind of dirty from it, so I kind of wipe my hands off. Usually on my jeans here, which I shouldn't do, and then I wipe the blade off. Just a little bit of residue on that blade. Just be very careful when you do this, alright? Alright, and this should be ready to go. So let's take this knife, and what we're going to do, you know, I'll come back and we'll continue on with this.